Good morning, everyone, and welcome to the 2020 Fall Advisors Conference for CSF and CJSF. We are so glad you've taken the time on this Saturday morning and probably the weirdest, strangest school year you've ever experienced to join us for a day of information and fellowship and how best to support your students at your local chapters and, of course, CSF statewide. We know some of you are teaching in a hybrid model. Some of you are teaching in a realm you've never experienced before. Some of you have been told you're not going to be coming into school to teach live until January and possibly not even to the rest of the school year. Did you ever think that you would be so adept at Zoom and Google Meets and all of those new apps that are out there? Just crazy. How about all those apps you had to learn? I mean, I bet you are so good at, I'm sure your masters at Nearpod, at Zoom, at Google Meets, at Kaizena, at Stormboard. You know, you pick it. I'm sure you have really adept. So I don't know about you, but this year I feel like a first-year teacher. I'm having to learn things in a whole new way to interact with my students, and we haven't even begun to talk about what we will do with CSF on our interlocal chapters. We know many of you are here wondering how in the world you can keep your CSF and CJSF chapters alive, active, and relative in this virtual world. How can you fundraise? And most importantly, how your students can provide service opportunities in your communities. Believe me when I tell you that CSF as an organization is here for you. We understand the issues that all of us are facing, and we're here for you. As the second oldest honor society in California, we are getting ready to embark on our 100th year. And we're so thrilled that you've chosen, or were voluntold, to serve as an advisor for your local chapters. You see, CSF is not about us here on the board. It's not us. Most of us have been in the schools. Most of us have been advisors. Some of us are currently still advisors and in the schools. But it's not us who are the power of CSF. It's you, the advisors. It's you, the advisors of those chapters locally. It's your students who are in your communities, helping back, giving back to the community. Okay? It's all of you and your predecessors who for almost 100 years have embraced our motto, Scholars for Service. Nowhere is this motto better understood than in your active chapters across our state. During this pandemic, so many people in our communities are in desperate need, whether it be neighborhood cleanup days, food drives, adopt a family for Thanksgiving or Christmas, virtual tutoring, etc. CSF students are finding a way to make a difference. I'd like to share with you a video from one of our outstanding student leaders, Casey Lassen from Kern Valley High School. When asked what being a member of both CJSF and CSF means, gave this response.
Hello, my name is Casey Lassen, and this is my 5th year as a CSF or CJSF member. Being a member of CSF and CJSF has been one of the most transformative experiences of my life. I must admit that when I first became a CJSF member in the 6th grade, the application was more of a resume builder or another check on my list of extracurriculars than an actual interest. But as years wore on, I discovered that not only was helping others through community service gratifying, but that it was also a passion I never knew I possessed. Since then, I've decided to dedicate my life to helping others through whatever means I can. In my years as a CSF member, I have come to realize that it is possible to make a difference in someone's life every day, whether that difference is big or small. And this is just one of the many life lessons CSF membership has taught me. Most importantly, though, I've learned that as humans, we have developed and evolved and become capable of countless actions since the beginning of time. The most important human capability of all, however, always has been, and will remain to be, the ability to give to others. CSF cultivates this quality in our youngest generations, and I am honored to call myself a member of this organization. Thank you.
And that is exactly why we do what we do. We have student leaders in all of our chapters doing amazing things. And whether your chapter is a new chapter, whether you are dynamic in the community or wanting to learn ways to do it, today we are here to help you, to reassure you, to offer guidance, to kind of walk you through all the processes of how to be a member, how to stay relevant, how to work in this virtual world. So sit back, relax. I hope the commute in was fine today. I hope you found good parking. That's the advantage of Zoom. And I hope that today, while we're talking and while we have breakout sessions, that you are going to be asking questions in the chat, and you're going to be thinking about how you can make CSF, even in this odd virtual realm, relevant on your schools. Our kids are depending on you. Our communities are depending on us to make CSF relevant for the next 100 years. And with that, I'd like to turn this over to our executive director, Eric Burkowski, to talk about many issues, Rose Parade, the Panda Express fundraiser, and so on. So Eric, take it away.
Good morning. I'm assuming I am live. I am not the most technically adept person in the CSF organization, and I appreciate all the board members who are, as well as all the students. But again, thank you for spending a Saturday with us. CSF will be 100 years old this January, and for 100 years, CSF has survived a history that many of us don't even think about. It survived the 1929 stock market debacle, which led to the Great Depression. It survived that. It survived World War II, Korea, Vietnam. It has survived all the way to today, and we will survive COVID. And that in large part has to do with you as advisors, our students, and our board. Just so you know, all of the CSF board members, and myself included, we are all volunteers. And we volunteer because we love and have a commitment to CSF. And just like we recognize you as advisors, you don't get compensated any greater to participate and to handle and to be in charge of your CSF chapters. So you give a lot back to CSF. And what's the purpose of that? The purpose is because you represent and CSF represents and provides a structure and a home for students who love education. They love to read, they love to learn, they have open minds, and they perform countless hours of community service. And the rich history of CSF is something that in today's world, which is totally uncharted, none of us have a roadmap in what we're to do. We have to lead. We have to choose not to hunker down, but we have to open our doors with CSF and provide the structure, the educational opportunities, the community service projects, et cetera, for all of our students to have a place to go and connect. But most importantly, what we need to do is also listen to each other. So all of us on the board need you as advisors. Please contact us, share with us what you need, what we could be doing to provide you methods and structure and new opportunities for your students. We have some big things happening in the state of California. Probably the most important is that the UC system has changed its admissions practices. They will no longer evaluate an SAT, ACT scores. So how does a student differentiate his or her experience in high school and in junior high school? How do they demonstrate that they have gone beyond the call of just the regular requirements that they need to meet to graduate? CSF provides that structure and has done so for 100 years. The UC admissions directors, the Cal State admissions directors, the private college and university admissions directors, registrars, chancellors, they all are intimately aware of the value of CSF students. CSF students, CJSF students have demonstrated their commitment, their responsibility, They learn all of the steps on what is required to show up, to complete the duties and the responsibilities to be a CJS and CSF member. So you provide a very good, well-organized structure. We're also the only academic honor society that is quantifiable. All of your course lists are looked at and evaluated by our registrars as well. And they're submitted and reviewed by admissions directors. So they understand what your students are doing. And that is the value of what CSF, CJSF brings to your students and their parents. And yet a lot of the parents and students don't know that. So one of the things you could do as an advisor with your students is to tell them, explain to them what CSF and CJSF does. So along the way, even given the fact that we can't meet physically, we can't have our physical conferences, our ability to interact physically is completely limited. We now have Zoom, a name and an idea that frankly, a year ago, I know nothing about. It's just a word. And yet today it's our reality on how we communicate with each other. So we've taken the second step. We have Panda, which has partnered with us, that is putting on a virtual United States bound, I'll say, fundraiser for the benefit of CSF, CJSF. And it's going to happen on November 5th. And there's no restriction. You as a CSF advisor, your students, they can all participate simply by going online. They can do community service by going out to not just their family, but their neighbors and friends and businesses and asking them to also on November 5th, order lunch, order dinner from Panda. And 28 cents of every dollar that is spent goes back to CSF and back to your chapter. So we're asking you to take a look at that. We don't have any other projects right now, but that's what we're going to be working on in the future. But the CSF Panda Express fundraiser is our first opportunity to do something collectively and to help you as you try to do some fundraising activities for the rest of the year. So again, your feedback is important. In order to count your participation, and Patricia will get into this more specifically, you just simply need to collect the receipts and then turn those into CSF. But with that, the last thing that I want to share with you is we are still looking forward to the 2022 Tournament of Roses. We'd love to have the participation of all of our students and our advisors and our alums to participate in that. Again, it's an unknown world. We have to watch it closely and see, is it actually even going to happen? But for right now, everything is on hold. As we move forward though, CSF is here for you. We're here to listen and we're here to provide you any additional support that we can to help you run your chapter. We've already seen incredible creativity from students with their videos and their interaction with us, and we'd like to share that with all the other chapters. So with that, welcome to today, and we hope you find it very rewarding. Thank you.
Let me interrupt for just a moment with a question. I know this could come up later, Eric, but it's only the continental US or it's all 50 states. It's not international, correct? The Panda Express.
Correct. It is not international, but it is all 50 states. So in my case, my older children live in Nevada, Colorado, the state of Washington. On November 5th, every one of my children and their families and their friends are going to their Panda online. They're going to order. They're going to then scan their receipts, send them to me. I'm going to turn them in. And I'm going to assign my family to my local high school and let them reap the benefits of what funds were raised. So that's a good question. To the continental United States, all 50, including Hawaii. I don't know that they have a Panda in Puerto Rico, but it's wide open. The world is ours, basically, or the United States.
United States. Thank you.
All right, before we get started with the conference and the questions we know that you're waiting for, I'd like to very quickly direct you to our website to show you where to access the links for today. So if you are on the CJSF or CSFCJSF.org website and you click on Fall Advisors Conference, and you scroll down, you will see our agenda for today. And on our agenda, you are currently in the webinar that begins at here in the beginning. And then there will be 2 breakout sessions that begin at 10:15. So if you are in CSF and want to attend the CSF breakout session, you would go to this link here. If you are in CJSF and would like to attend the CJSF breakout session, you would go to the link here. After the breakout sessions, you'll have a short break, and then you will finally come to our closing session, which will hopefully we will be able to address any questions we have not gotten to throughout the day. And we will also have we will have a wheel of gifts. So if you would like to attend that, you would click on this bottom. Okay, so to get here, you go to the CSF CJSF website. If you are in both, unfortunately, you're going to have to choose one or the other, but they will both be recorded. So you go to the CSF CJSF website, click on Fall Advisors Conference on this top banner, the blue tabs across the top, and then scroll down to the workshop agenda. And here are the links for today and the agenda as well. Okay, so I'm going to hand it back to Richard and we're going to get to the meat of the conference. If you have any questions, be sure to enter them into the chat.
Okay, so hopefully everyone is gearing up for the conference. You have all kinds of questions that are just cramming into your head. We will be hitting your questions in a few minutes that you asked when you registered for this conference. We're going to be going over many of those. I would like to hand it over to Renee. She's going to be doing the introductions for our board members to let you know who is who and a little bit more about us before we get into it. So Renee.
Hi and welcome. Stephanie, all I can see is the agenda on there. Am I missing something? I don't know. Can anybody see me?
We're still seeing, Stephanie, we're still seeing your screen.
Stephanie?
Yeah, she's got it.
Oh, there we go. Can you guys see me? Hi, Renee. Okay, yeah, I am. So, well, we want you to be able to put a face to the name. Before we get started, we're going to introduce all the board members that are present. And I want you to know that all of our board members and executive director are volunteers. We have 2 staff members, Patricia and Lisa, and all of the board members, our staff members, executive director, are available to you. So we're here to help you with whatever you need. My name is Renee Tyler, and I am the co-president of CSF with my partner, Richard, who you've already seen. I'm a retired high school French teacher. I was a CSF advisor for 20 years. I've been on the board for, gosh, I think about 9 or 10 years. I live in Folsom, and I love what I'm doing. I love being on the board, and we're going to appeal to you a little bit later to also join the board. So I'm going to hand this over to Richard.
So I am Renee's partner in crime. You know, to be honest, when we both agreed to be co-presidents, the first time in the organization that we actually have a co-president type thing, we agreed that she was going to be doing the bulk of the office work. So any issues you're having as far as in your chapters that are going to the president, they're going to Renee. I was signed on to be the guy behind the microphone. And as we kind of joke about the heavy, if there's ever any issues, I was one to take care of that. So for the most part, all of you need to know that Renee is doing the bulk of the actual physical work for CSF. So we couldn't be here as an organization this year without her leadership. I'm from Sonora, California. I was on the Seymour committee in CSF several years ago, and now I'm so fortunate to be with you as the co-president. I've been an advisor at my school campus for over 10 years. And like Renee said, I just love doing this job. I love working with the kids. The most amazing thing you'll ever do as an advisor is to serve on our Seymour committee, where you get to meet the 10 finalists for each region. And you just you come away with knowing that our country is in such great shape, because these kids are just going to be our leaders of our world. So we're going to hit you up many times during the day. I really encourage you to get involved with CSF. And I hope that we're going to be back non-virtual very soon. Yeah, so Renee, take it over.
Stephanie. Can't hear you.
You're muted.
So my name is Stephanie Peterson. I am the president-elect and the current acting treasurer. I am a high school English teacher as well. I teach at Western Sierra Collegiate Academy in Rockland. And I also, Rockland, California, obviously. I also began my CSF journey as a member of the Seymour Committee, which was an amazing experience. So if you are considering it, join the Seymour Committee. I think that what I love the most about CSF is it is probably the most inspiring organization that I belong to, because it reminds us that this is why we do what we do.
Okay, Matt.
Well, good morning, everybody. So my name is Matt Hungerford. I am the past president of CSF and also the Seymour chair this year. This is my, I think it's 14th year working with the board, 23rd year as a CSF advisor. I'm down in Gilroy, and this is a really great experience. I encourage you to join the board and become more and more active in CSF. Thank you.
Thank you. Lynn?
Hi, I'm Lynn Philo. I teach in Downeyville. I teach junior high and high school. I've been on the board I came on the board as a Seymour representative or member, sorry. I was also the Seymour chair for 2 sessions, 2 series. I've been a VP, both CSF and CJSF. I have been a CSF registrar. I am currently the CSF board secretary, and I'm assisting when I can the CSF registrar Gwen Rasmussen. So I'm also helping to read some of the North and Central series of lists. For this morning, I am trying to collect your chat comments. So if you have something that you need to immediately address to the panel, please put it into the chat and we'll get to it as quickly as we can. Some of it is addressed later in the agenda. So if I don't answer you immediately, that might be the reason why. For the moment, there seemed to be a little bit of confusion about the links. I think Patricia took care of that by posting all the links in your chat. But again, if you're having issues joining with those links, please chat and we will get you connected. Thank you.
Thank you. Tammy?
You're muted.
Hi, my name is Tammy Lundblad, and I am retired, but I worked at Los Alamitos High School for 22 years, and I was a CSF advisor for 17 years. And during that time, I read some of the Seymour applications. So you can even do that, even if you're not on the board, sometimes as be part of the committee. I joined the board, I think this is my 7th year on the board. I was the VP in the South region. And now I am a registrar. So I am the face behind a lot of those emails that you're getting regarding your course list. And I really do appreciate your patience. I love being on CSF. I don't know how many of you were in CSF when you were in high school. I happen to be one of those people. So, but I just really appreciate your enthusiasm for CSF and always your willingness to help. So thank you.
Thank you. Gwen?
Hi, I'm Gwen Rasmussen. I was, like Tammy, a reader for the CSF Seymour applications, and then was asked to be on the Seymour committee in 2005, I believe. And so I was on Seymour for several years, and then I was the registrar for a few years, And then I was the Northern Region VP, and now I'm registrar again, one of the registrars. And I'm also retired. I taught in Willits and retired 3 years ago. So once again, like Tammy, some of you recognize my name from your lists. So, and obviously I enjoy working with CSF since I've stayed here since 2005. So thank you.
Thank you. Jackie?
How to make myself bigger, but my name is Jackie Mishler. I'm an administrator rather at Rose and Alex Philibos Armenian School in Hollywood. This is my 41st year at the school, and I've been involved with CSF as a CSF advisor for probably 20 years at least, if not more. This is my very first year on the board, and I'm assistant registrar to Tammy Lundblad and helping her with going over the lists and checking the lists from the South Central and Southern section of California. And I'm really enjoying it, and it's a great opportunity. And I hope that many people can become involved on the board.
Thank you. Brian?
Good morning. My name is Brian Dahl. I come from Hanford. That's where I teach at Sierra Pacific High School as an English teacher and as a CSF advisor. I've been an advisor for approximately 10 years, 12 if you count a couple of years at a previous school. I'm in my second year as the VP for Central Region, which is a pretty amazing group of individuals. So if you see my emails, that's what this face that goes. Welcome.
Thank you. I don't think Janie is with us. Am I wrong? Janie, are you there? Janie is our South or Central Coast CSF VP. And I know that she didn't think she would be able to make it today. So we'll see her sometime soon. Mark.
Hi, my name is Mark Bell, and I work at Wasco High School in Central Valley. I've been the CSF advisor there for probably close to 8 to 10 years. I am the VP for the Northern Region, and I've been the VP for the region for about the last month, about the last year and a half. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Lisa Alexander.
Good morning, everyone. My name is Lisa Alexander. I'm the Vice President of the South Region. Welcome, everyone, and new advisors, welcome. I began my journey with CSF 2 years ago as a part of the South Region board, but my high school that I was previously at, I was the advisor and co-advisor for the last 4 years. I'm really excited to get working with you. Currently, I'm at a middle school as the assistant principal, and I'm excited to say that our middle school is now a CJSF member. So I'm really excited to see both worlds, and welcome aboard.
Thank you, Lisa. Rosalind?
Hi, I'm Rosalind Cantor. I just retired this last June. I think I chose a good time to retire from teaching high school at Esperanza. It's in Anaheim, California. I was CSF advisor there for 37 years. I was on the state board for 10 years and then stepped off when my son got a little older and needed my attention. And now that he's grown, I've went back on, and I was on Seymour the last 3 years. And now I am VP for the South Central region. So I'm looking forward to working with everybody in that area.
Thank you. Erin?
Hi, I'm Erin Woodward. I am currently a Spanish teacher at Kern Valley High School in Lake Isabella. It's kind of in the middle of the state in the mountains. I've been on the board for 15 years. I started with Gwen. I started as a CJSF VP. I became the CJSF registrar. Then I was CSF registrar for a while and back to CJSF registrar, which I really enjoy. I'm currently the advisor at my high school. I have been for 10 years. And I was the advisor at our middle school for the 10 years prior to that. So I've been advisor for 20 years. And those are my kids. I'm really proud of my kids in the video because they're great.
Thank you, Erin. Wendy? Thought I saw Wendy. Oops. Did we lose Wendy? We'll try to come back to Wendy. Sandra.
Hi, I'm Sandra Villaseñor, and I am the Central Coast VP, CJSF VP, and I have been an advisor for actually a northern chapter of CJSF for the last 11 years, and I was brought to the board about 2 years ago, and was originally the South Central CJSF VP, and then I was needed to be the Central Coast CJSF VP, is where I currently now stand. So even though I'm not from that area, being brought onto the board is necessary. That's one of the reasons why we have these advisors conference, to find more members. It's actually, I'm a busy person, but this is something that's totally doable and I've enjoyed it. It's, now we're doing virtual things, which makes things a little easier, but even in person, the meetings are very rewarding, especially reading all the applicants for the Hune Award. It's great and fulfilling. Thank you.
Thank you. Pam?
Okay, hi everyone, and welcome to the conference. I'm Pam Bodner, and I have had the pleasure of serving as the North Region Vice President for several years now, actually many years. I was a middle school counselor for over 30 years and then recently retired, but I was an advisor for over 20 years at the junior high level for CJSF. I live in Chico, California in the North Region. And I would really encourage all of the advisors to continue to think about having your students apply for the Marion Hune and the Di Giovanna awards this year. It will really help them focus and encourage them to do community service. So contact me whenever you need anything, and I've been very proud to serve as a CJSF board member. Thank you.
Thank you. Holly?
Hello, my name is Holly Loaf. I've been a CJSF and CSF advisor for the past 7 years. I'm currently the CJSF South Region VP, so some of you may have already received emails from me. I'm here to help you with applications, to help you with ideas for anything, really, for you as far as your club goes and activities.
Thank you. Veronica?
Good morning. My name is Veronica Reynolds, and I am a NET specialist at Bellflower Middle School. And I've been working there for about 20 years and as an advisor for 9 years. And this is my second year as a VP for the South Central region. So I'm here to support you in what you need, and it could be anything. So welcome.
Thank you. Looks like Wendy's back. Unmute, Wendy.
Hi, I'm Wendy May, and I am an 8th grade core teacher at Crookshank Middle School. I have been an 8th grade advisor for our chapter the past 15 years and served on the board for the past 10 years. And I've already heard from a few of our new advisors within my chapter, so it's been nice to know that they know where to contact us, and I look forward to working with them. With all of you.
Thank you. Tim?
Good morning, everybody. My name's Tim Green. I work up at Lyndhurst High School in just outside Marysville, California. And this is my second year with the Seymour Committee, and it's actually my first year back as being an advisor. Ms. Peterson left and got herself another good job and starting a program there. So just proud to follow in those footsteps and just enjoying the ability to work with all these people. It's a great organization, and like so many have said, any way that you can get involved would be wonderful.
Okay, we have two other Seymour Committee members, Cheryl Thomas and Nicole Bitney, who are unable to be with us today. Eric.
Okay, I'm back. So I have been with CSF. This is my 20th year. Shocking where all the time has gone. My role as executive director, I will just point out, I'm the only non-teacher, non-educator with CSF. I don't know if that's good or bad, but it is what I am. My background is business. For CSF, I handle fundraising, community outreach. I typically every summer will reach out and either meet with or speak to 8 to 10 university admissions directors all across the country, be they on the East Coast for the Ivy League schools all the way to back to the West Coast, from community colleges to our four-year universities and graduate level schools. In addition to that, I handle licensing, the graduation products for CSF, and frankly, we'll take out the trash if we have trash, whatever it takes. In high school also, I'm proud to say I too was a life member of CSF. And what keeps me motivated are your students today. It's unbelievably uplifting to see the students, particularly at our conferences, know the incredible academic accomplishments that they make, as well as all the community service projects that they contribute to and create themselves. And I'm proud to be associated with CSF. And just so you as advisors know, CSF is one of the most well-run, financially well-run organizations, nonprofits in the United States. Approximately 94 cents of every dollar raised goes back directly to students and the cost of running the organization. The only two salaries we have are for part-time staff people. They are paid woefully low wages and do phenomenal jobs. I can't thank enough all the time and effort that both Lisa, Bowen, and Patricia, who takes care of all of our technical aspects, all the time and effort they give. We could not be here today without their help. I am available anytime, 7 days a week, if you have questions, if you have ideas. And again, it's going to be up to both of us to share and grow and protect CSF for the next 100 years. And I look forward to interacting with you, be it on Zoom and hopefully in the near future for all of us back to physically being able to interact. Thank you.
Thank you, Eric. Lisa, Bowen.
Good morning, everyone. I am Lisa Bowen. I have had the pleasure of being a part of CSF since 2017. I am your contact at the central office, and please, I can only say never hesitate to reach out to us. We have an amazing support system here, and we're always willing to help. So feel free to reach out anytime, and we thank you for being here today.
Thank you, Lisa. Patricia.
I'm Patricia Gill, and I've been with CSF since 2017, same as Lisa. We're learning the system together, or we have learned the system together. I'm responsible for the website. You can see that I've got my virtual background backwards. Any questions you have that have to do with the website, with forms, email, get in touch with me and I'll do the best I can to help you. And if you send me other questions, I will send them along to whoever can help you. And I really enjoy working with CSF. It's an amazing group of people on the board, and I enjoy my interactions with all the advisors in CSF and CJSF.
You're straight for us. We can see you.
Oh, really?
Did I miss anybody? Hello? Well, before I leave, I just want to thank everybody on the board and staff and Eric. of how hard you work. And I know I could not do this job at all without all of you. So thank you very much. I'm going to pass you on to Richard again.
All right. So all of you, when you registered, oh, by the way, you saw a picture of Lisa Bowen in our CSF central office, also known as her kitchen table. So as Eric said, we have very low overhead. We don't have, I mean, it sounds really exotic to say, oh, we have a central office. It is her dining room table. There was a picture that came around last year of all of the mail coming in for all the registrations. And it was piled probably 2.5 to 3 foot tall of mail that she had to go through. And it was spread out everywhere. It was in stacks. So our central office is one person. It is Lisa. So thank you for your patience and thank you for reaching out to us. When you registered, many of you posed questions. And the number one question we received was, let me see if I can put it in a very nice way. Help, I'm a new advisor, what do I do? And I wish we were here in person, so I could go over and I could pat you on the shoulder. I can't touch you now, but I could go over and pat you on the shoulder and reassure you that it's going to be okay. Many of you were probably given that proverbial box of materials and someone said, Tag, you're the advisor. And right now you're at our conference going, I don't know what to do. What do I do? How do I do this? You just met our board, which is, it seems like a large board. We all have roles that are helping out. And you're like, how do I fit into this thing that is CSF? And maybe it makes you pressured that 100 years have gone by and you're like, I need to uphold that on my campus. Relax, just relax. The first step you've made is that you accepted the position as advisor. Everything else, we've got your back. Let me share with you our website just to start things for the panic that people are feeling with the questions. So this is our website, and Patricia showed this to you a few minutes ago. So if you were a new advisor, don't know where to go, what I would suggest that you do is that you notice that on our home page now, we are addressing you with the concerns of virtual learning. We're aware of all the different challenges that all of you are facing. And so this front page just kind of gives you a little information about, hey, we're here for you. We're here for you. Please reach out, contact us, and things are going to be okay. So if you go down to the middle of the page, you'll see it says Fall 2020 Help for Advisors. That's the best resource right now. And I'm not going to read all this for you, but you can scroll down. You'll see everything from community service ideas to fundraising ideas to what kind of fundraisers you can have in a virtual school setting. It's on and on. And this is a live board, so you can post your comments at the bottom and you can join in with the conversation. A lot of our advisors who are on here they've been doing this for a long time, so they're definitely a primary source for you to reach out to. Okay, so you see fundraising ideas, best case scenarios for fundraisers during this virtual learning. And then we have just some comments that are dues. And so we're trying to be accommodating to everybody. We know that some of your schools are not able to raise any funds because the kids are all home and it's all through Zoom. How do you pay your dues? So in those cases, just reach out to us. Let us know what's going on. Let us know your individual circumstances. Some schools, you have a large account with funds. Other schools are not allowed to accept dues or to ask for dues for membership. And so there's more challenges for those chapters. Each chapter in the state is a little bit different. So we try to let you be as autonomous as possible as long as you are following the CSF bylaws. So you see here information about the Panda Express fundraiser. All of this is from that main page on the home. So I'll go back to that to show you where it was again. When you type in csf/cjsf.org, this is where the website lives and it's the home page. So just down here in the middle is that document I was just showing you there, Help for Advisors. Okay, new advisors. So you're brand new. If you've not taken a look at our website and spent the morning with a cup of coffee looking around, you probably should. There's so much packed in here. Patricia's doing such an amazing job making this look so great digital. But if you were a new CSF or a new CJSF advisor and you just want the basics, if you go over here to where it says resources, you can see here you have the resources for CSF or CJSF. And I'll show you one just to kind of give you a glimpse here. And you will see everything here from frequently asked questions to how do you pay your dues? How do you submit course lists? And then you'll see guidance on membership and so on. Club activities, community service, fundraising information, this conference as well, what your principal can be involved with, how they can be involved, and so on. So much information here. As an advisor myself, I'm constantly going back to our bylaws just to make sure I'm following the correct things, making sure I do well. If ever you have a question from a parent or a student about a bylaw or an issue, you're like, how do I deal with that one? Just let us know. Contact Lisa at the central office. She will, or contact your VP. Let me show you where that's at as well. I want to make sure you know where your regional VP is. You should know as an advisor which region of the state you are currently in. Usually that's the last letter of your chapter. Like I am 201C, which C stands for Central. Okay, so if you go here to the home page about CSF, CJ, I'm sorry, let's go back to this other one. If you were on this main page I showed you earlier, the fall 2020 advisors, near the bottom of that page is a list of our VPs. So let's scroll over to the bottom here. And I will show you, sorry. I'm in the wrong place, darn it. Wouldn't you know it? Sorry. Or things moved around, I don't remember. Let's go back to resources. I apologize. Maybe it's here. Oh, I know where it's at. It is it is under CSF, under resources. I went to CSF chapter resources, that's where I'm at. And I went to the frequently asked questions. This is the most pressing issues that most of us have as advisors. At the bottom of this form is where your region VPs are at, both the CSF region VPs and the CJSF regional VPs. So if I was in the central, I would click on here and that goes to Brian Dull and my email would go to him and he could answer my questions. If for whatever reason you have tried that or you need some help and you want to try a different way, you're always welcome to go to the bottom and go to office@csf.cjsf and that will go to Lisa, okay? All right, I have a few comments that came into the chat. Yes, and the VP's email addresses are also listed in the newsletter email to all of you in September, okay? All right. So, and that's going to help me out here because Matt is, as our past president, and he just is always the one we seem to go to when any of us have questions. No matter how many questions we get, there's always that one that we're like, I've never had this question before. What do I do? And Matt's our go-to guy. So Matt, please jump in here whenever I get something wrong or you have great insight to add.
Well, just the one jump in, and since you mentioned me here,
yes.
The one thing I really want to recommend everybody, if you are stuck, the office email going to Lisa is your best bet. That is the #1 place to go to. If you're stuck, office@csf-cjsf.org. She is a wonderful person, can help you out instantly, well, very quickly, and get it to the right person. So if you don't know who to go to, that is your first starting point, and I highly recommend you go right there. And also any of the board members will be happy to help you too, but the office is your #1 go-to link.
Thank you, Matt. See, he's already helping me. So if you were a brand new advisor, let me go over just some of the basics that you need to know. Okay, #1, to be a CSF Life member to achieve seal bearer status, students have to apply and been accepted at 4 different semesters during their sophomore, junior, and senior year grades. Okay, freshmen can be an associate member in January of their freshman year, unless they were members in the Honor Society of CJSF as 8th graders, 7th and 8th graders, and that the school in your region, they were CJSF transferring to the high school, they can be an associate member with their grades from their 8th grade year. Freshman year grades, both the fall and spring semesters, do not count towards life members, but they should be allowed, your freshmen should be allowed in all activities CSF related once they become an associate member. every year we get this question by chapters who are saying, what is, yes, they say, what are the requirements for service in our chapters? There is no requirement for service. In fact, it's in our bylaws. You cannot assign service as a requirement to be a CSF life member or to be in the CSF chapter. Service is not a requirement, okay? It is an option, okay? So all that you can do, it's grades only. Grades are what is the criteria for students to be a part of CSF, grades only, okay? If they have the 10 points on the grades for the semester and they apply for that semester's membership, they should be allowed to be in CSF in your chapter. The one thing schools can do, yes, and your application needs to be on time. So each chapter gets a window of time when they accept membership applications. Usually it's the first month of school. Usually it's at the most a 4-week window, usually at the very, very beginning of the school year, for membership applications to come in. In this virtual world, there's all kinds of issues and things going on. So if for whatever reason you've not been successful operating a membership campaign for this semester, this would be for the fall, the spring grades from last year. If you have not been doing that, just contact the office. We can kind of walk you through some things to get that going. So CSF members, 4 semesters of membership with at least 10 points, turned in on time, okay? 4 of those, they're considered CSF life members and they should be awarded. At the graduation, the CSF awards that you're required as a chapter to offer is the CSF lamp pin. In addition, it is the seal on the diploma and some type of indication on their transcripts. That is the sum total of what you are obligated to offer a CSF life member from CSF. Your chapter at your school may, in addition to the lamp pin, the seal, and the transcript notification, they may offer the cords or the stole. Those are not requirements by CSF. Those are optional. Your school, your chapter can decide whether you're going to go with those things or not, okay? What else? Okay, let me answer some of the questions here on the side.
Richard, some of the questions I noticed are specific to either CSF or CJSF. So if advisors could perhaps be patient, and those will be addressed in the specific breakout sessions.
Right.
We have one here that's specific to a CSF list issue, and another one specific to the CJSF advisors. So those questions that don't involve the entire organization are probably better addressed in our breakout sessions, where at least CJSF, you'll be a smaller group.
Right, so thank you very much for that. Okay, yeah, that one. Okay, so with the awards, chapters can decide if they want to, if they're committing community service, they can choose whether a student is active or inactive in their local chapter. That is a site chapter decision, not from CSF central office. So for example, you can ask in your chapter for students to have 10 hours of service per semester to remain as an active CSF student. That's just in your chapter. That service or lack of service should not and must not keep them from being a life member, if that makes sense. Okay, you can have these other things. You can ask them to do service, you can ask them to do tutoring 2 days a week, whatever, but that's at a chapter. That should not and cannot deny them from CSF membership. In the past, we've had things like students are emailing us saying, we've been asked that we have to write an essay to be a member of CSF. You can't. The only criteria are grades and the application turned in on time. Matt, what else would you like to add, Matt? Matt?
He puts me on the spot again here. One thing, I'm not sure I can share my screen right now or not. Do I can here? Let me find the right thing here. Some people were asking for CSF about what semesters count and such. And this is a form, I believe it's on the website now, that was put together with the help from Glenn Michelson, and you'll hear about the Michelson Award later on today. He helped put this together that kind of puts that down what semesters count for honors at graduation and which ones do not. So this is the semester you apply in. So the fall semester you would apply in as a 9th grader, you can be an associate member. That's your 8th grade. Your CJSF honor graduates are the ones who can apply then. The other 2 associate memberships are the ones earned with grades earned as a freshman. And then the boxes here for life membership, we have them marked as full with the requirement that at least one semester membership is based on grades earned as a senior. So either the spring semester of their senior year or that very last semester, that May/June semester in their senior year. What I like about this form too is that there's always those couple of kids who graduate early. There's a way to graduate early if you get rid of one semester or if you graduate in just 3 years. That's on there too. If the form's not on the website and you'd like a copy, email me. I'm Matt at csf-cjsf.org, as it shows on the screen there. I can send you a PDF of this right away. You're welcome to use it. And that's one thing we can do. So that's what I got right now, Richard. Back to you.
Okay, a couple more things that might help. So membership is done at your chapter. You have to have your course lists approved by the registrars, but then it's your job as a chapter to run your membership, to have those come into you. Those do not have to leave your school in terms of you're not turning in your membership application forms to anyone at the state. They stay in-house with you. A lot of questions come on how the best way to keep records. Many schools are going to like a Google or an Excel spreadsheet type format that you can keep in-house. A couple more things, and then I'll open this up to any questions from the advisors that you have. We did have a design, and we were entered into this year's Rose Parade for this coming January 2021 or January 1st. However, because of COVID, the Rose Parade has been canceled. So we'll keep you up to date with our plans going forward for next year's Rose Parade when we have a little bit more information from the Rose Bowl committee and so on. Also, so the chapter lists are due October 1st. If you've not gone through that process, check out our website. Later on I can show you how to get there. But this is a really painless process. Our office is so gracious. If you turn it in and maybe you're not sure where a specific class goes, you can email our central office. We'll advise you. You can email our registrars. They will help you. If you send it in and there needs to be corrections, they will send it back to you. Make sure that you check your spam folders. If you are waiting for approval of your course lists, make sure that you know that email is going back and forth freely. So often we have spam blockers and so on that advisors are being, they're kept from seeing our information. So definitely make sure that's happening. Also, our dues are due November 1st. And like I said earlier, this year we are waiving any kind of a late fee until June of next year. However, it's really important if you're planning on nominating students for the Seymour Awards that you get your dues paid and let us know if there's an issue that we can help you with. Okay, with that, I will open it up to any questions that you have regarding this year with distance learning, anything I can answer more specifically or that Matt can answer more specifically. Okay, so here's a question that says, I always let students stay in our chapter even if they didn't qualify that semester. Is that okay? This is for students who did apply and qualify for a semester at some point. Yeah, that's a really great question because you want your chapter to stay active and robust, and sometimes for whatever reason, a student cannot qualify for that semester. It gets a little iffy when that student is one of your officers, and different chapters deal with that in different ways. But definitely, if a student, for whatever reason, just was not successful with the grades that semester, I wouldn't say you may not come in. I would definitely keep them included, keep them going with all of your fundraisers. Some of the active chapters in the state need all hands on deck. So definitely I would. Other schools' course lists, you can talk to the registrars. Every school's course list is so different. How we call a class, the new wave of ag classes coming in, the CTE classes coming in. We call a freshman English, English 9. Some schools call it English 1. So it would be impossible to give you sample course lists from all schools because they'd all be different. Definitely our bylaws gives you information, the full sheet of how to quantify or how to tag different classes for which category. Normally your list 1 are your 4-year college type courses. It's your basic, your math, your science, your Spanish, your history, those kinds of courses. Your list 2 are usually your support classes. Psychology, I know, is one usually on list 2. There's classes that are like lower level or that are kind of like springboards to the list 1 courses. And list 3, by and large, are the elective courses. Can a non-member attend meetings to check it out? That's up to the chapter. Usually I would strongly encourage that because you want everyone to be involved. When our chapter has a fundraiser, a coat drive, adopt a family, I don't keep it only for CSF students. I let any student who wants to help get involved. There's not a requirement for my school. So dues that need to be submitted, the dues are based on the number of students at your campus. My school, the dues are $100 because I don't remember the actual criteria. Matt, do you know this in terms of how many students? Is it like 1,000 and above?
I don't have that off the top of my head. It's on the information form, though. I know the dues form.
Yeah, on the dues form itself, it tells you how many, you tell them how many students you have, and there's a break of the criteria of how much you need to pay. It's a nominal fee. And as we've been trying to tell you today, we are not all living in Hawaii, and our central office does not overlook the coast and so on. We try to keep things very low budget in terms of our end. So all the money goes back to the students. We give over $120,000 every year to awards for our students. So it's all about the kids with CSF, CJSF. Okay, let me see if I can't field some questions here.
So I do have those numbers if you want them, Richard. For CSF, the dues is $75 if your school enrollment is 500 students or less. For 501 to 2,000 students, it's $100 a year, and 2,000 and above is $150. For CJSF, same categories, 500 less is $25. 501 to 2,000 is $35, and over 2,000 is $45 per year.
Patricia has posted in chat dues schedules. So for everybody, if it's kind of getting lost in this long string of chats, look for something from IT specialist Patricia Gill to all panelists. Also, Patricia, thank you very much. She has posted service ideas with comments and fundraising ideas with comments, links for all 3 of these things. So she's picking up on these chat comments and requests as well. And again, they can certainly be repeated in the sessions if you're a CJSF advisor and you're losing what you need in this long string of CSF chats. Be sure to ask your question again in the CJSF session, and so we can get you that information.
Thank you, Lynn. So a question came up in the chat here. It says, can you explain the difference between seal bearer and life membership? They're one and the same. They're the same exact thing. The 2 different awards that you can get in the CSF Balfour website is the seal bearer life membership status or the 100% highest honor. And what that's reserved for is if you have students that are members all 4 years. If when they were a freshman, they became an associate member and they were members of all 4 years, then it's an optional. You don't have to, but you are definitely encouraged to give that student the highest honor award. see. And more questions. Got that one.
So Richard, this might be an appropriate time for Patricia to walk us through the website, which is our next agenda item. Would that be all right?
Absolutely, sure.
All right, Patricia, are you ready to walk us through the website?
I hope so.
Okay, great. So you're up. Thank you, Richard.
Okay, I'm going to share my screen and okay.
While she's getting ready, we are new to the webinar format. And Patricia, our IT specialist, this is not her forte, but she has worked very hard to make this happen for us. So we are very grateful, and I apologize if things are a little rough, but we are going to be webinar experts by the next time we do this, right? Okay, go ahead, Patricia.
Okay, yes, I'm used to working in a cave and answering emails, so public speaking is not my thing, but I do know my way around our website. So if you go to the home page and you run across the top, there's a blue bar, and the menu items up there are going to change throughout the year. So right now we've got course lists, chapter renewal and dues payment, awards, fall advisors conference, resources, calendar, advisor news, contact us. And if you're shopping online, which probably most of us are, you can click this Shop Amazon Smile link and sign into your Amazon account, and CSF will benefit from your shopping. So that is the top bar is the most important place for you to go. But then I've added down below, two separate sections, one for CSF, one for CJSF, for advisors, administrators, students, with all kinds of resources there. So let's see, dues. We were just talking about that. You click on that and it takes you to a single page with two separate links, one for CSF, one for CJSF. So right now I'm going to click on the CSF link. It takes you to a form that provides information to us about your chapter. And you may think, don't you already know this? But this information changes from year to year, or can change, and it's important for us to be up to date. Otherwise, we're emailing people who are no longer advisors, or we're emailing email addresses that are bouncing. So this is where we start. Use this CSF region lookup and find your school on here. You can sort by the school name, and you can find your school, find your chapter number, and find your region. And why is that important? Because when you submit nominations for awards, or your students submit essays for awards and they show an incorrect region, you risk having that nomination or application disqualified, because awards are awarded by region, and if you're in the wrong region, this presents a big problem. So try to look it up. Also, I've started adding that information at the beginning of emails going out to advisors, so you can refer to that and get it correct. And I would say that 10% of the people who registered for this conference had their chapter number and or region incorrect. So look it up. So then after you complete this form and you click to renew, that sends that form information to us. And it's also going to send you a copy of the information that you just sent us. So that's going to then take you to this page, which is where you can pay your dues. You can choose. I'm going to download a PDF form and mail it. That PDF form can be given to your person who does the paying, and my screen is getting, no, the thing at the top. Okay, so you can use that form, or you can pay online using PayPal or credit cards, credit or debit cards. And once again, when you send this form in, when you click send, you will get a copy of it. When you use the mail-in form, I suggest you keep a copy of that for yourself. So that's dues. Okay, let me think. All right, Seymour Award. So awards is at the top here. There are multiple ways to get to these different pages. So CSF awards, it works the same for CJSF. The pages are going to look similar. When the nomination becomes live, you click on the submit nomination link, and the form will be there for nominating. There's all kinds of tabs with a lot of information. So I created a demo form for this session of the Seymour application. So you go through here, it's pretty much self-explanatory, but when you mouse over a field that maybe needs an explanation, one should pop out on the right. Okay, here we go. So once again, look up your region and your chapter number if you're at all unsure about it, so you get it correct on this form. CSF chapters have to be in good standing in order to submit Seymour nominations. And we're asking you to check that here, but we do double check that. Okay, you have to upload 6 documents with the application. Please name the document with the last name of the student and then dash. What kind of document is it? Transcript. So Sandoval dash transcript, Sandoval dash activities, Sandoval dash personal, Sandoval dash advisor letter. So you can see that, and the little hints pop out to the side. That enables me to spend a lot less time downloading and sorting all of these, because I can just sort them by the last name of the nominee. And of course, then after you've attached each of these documents, you click submit, and there we go. Hopefully that's really as easy as I'm telling you it is. If that, okay. So now, let's see, we've got Panda Express fundraiser coming up. And on Monday, the Panda link will replace Fall Advisors Conference up here. But in the meantime, it's here. And this takes you to a page, some information about the fundraiser, and a form where you can register your chapter to participate. It's a different process from previous years because this year, Panda is not separating the chapters out for accounting. So we have to do that. So that's what we need that form for. That should be fairly easy. I'm hoping. If it's not, email me, patricia@csf-cjsf.org. Email me whatever your questions are. See, I'm going to take you back to the homepage. In the coming year, we're going to be celebrating CSF and their 100 years. And if you go to About and then History and click on that, it'll take you to this page, which will allow you to share information, historical things, old photos, new photos. This doesn't have to be ancient history. It can be new history. And upload your story, your photos, whatever you have, to the website. So that is pretty much all I've got. And somehow oh, there they are. So I'm going to stop sharing and go back. So I'm hoping I hit on the high points. If I didn't, or there's something you don't understand, email me or put it in the chat, and I'll see what I can do to help. Thank you.
Right, thank you, Patricia. So I hope that this has put Patricia's face to the website. And if you have any questions, you know, on the other side, she's actually pretty nice. But in any case, now you know who you're contacting and she can answer any of those questions. So we are a little ahead of schedule, but in the interest of being on time with our agenda, because we did publish the agenda in case anybody is planning to attend the breakout sessions only, I don't want to get ahead. So we're going to go ahead and take a break, and we will be back at 10:30. So I realize it's like 45 minutes, but my concern is that if people were intending to just come to the breakout sessions, that I don't want to have them miss out. So we're going to take a little break. We'll be back at 10:30.
Excuse me, what you're going to do the second.
Is it possible for the meeting to stay open? So if there are chat questions, I could be fielding those. Would that be advantageous?
Sure, sure, that would be totally fine. And when we do come back at 10:30, though, I want to make a note that you will not be coming back here. So at 10:30, you will be clicking on the links that are available on the agenda for your specific session. So we will be breaking into CSF and CJSF at 10:30. And those links again are available on the website under Fall Advisors Conference. And they were also put in the chat at the very beginning, and we can do that again.
Stephanie, do you have a second video?
What's that?
Do you have a second student video?
I do. You are correct. I do. Thank you.
Thank you, Renee.
Sometimes I get ahead of myself. Shocking. All right, so I'm going to show the last student video, or the next student video. If you'd like to stay and chat, people will be on for chat. Otherwise, feel free to take a break and come back at 10:30 to choose your breakout session. And let's get her up here. And there will be an opportunity to look at more specific questions for CSF or CJSF in those breakout sessions. And we will put those links back into the chat. All right. And our next video. And the reason we did those student videos is to remind us the reason why we love CSF. And make sure my audio, my computer sound. All right, here she is.
Hi, I'm Nikki Brooks, and I'm Kern Valley High School CSF Secretary. I just wanted to say it's really good to join CSF, either when you are in junior high and 8th grade as CJSF, or entering high school and doing CSF, because I personally think it builds character. You get community service out of the way, and it looks really good on college applications. It's just something fun to do. You make new friends, and you get to do fun activities around your community. And I would just really recommend you join.
All right, so for that, we'll take you into our break. And so feel free to stay and chat. Otherwise, we will see you back at those sessions with the links that I'm going to put in the chat right now at 10:30. And thank you so much for being with us.
Stephanie?
Yes.
There's a question here for a latecomer who wants to use the break session to kind of get caught up. How does that webinar recording work?
The recording is going into the cloud, and I don't imagine it will be available right away. It takes a little bit for it to let it go ahead.
No, that's good.
So, but the recording will be available, and Patricia will make that available, but it does take a little bit.
Yeah, it'll probably take until tomorrow. They're huge. They have to be converted for uploading to YouTube, and then they will be linked on our website So it's a process and it takes a few hours. So check back tomorrow on Fall Advisors Conference and you'll find them there.
And if you do have questions that you haven't had answered, we will definitely be able to address those in the breakout sessions as well.
Yeah, for those who are sticking around in this break time session, normally what happens at a CSF, CJSF advisors conference, some of the best times we have is when we kind of give you what we've just already done, the general questions, but then we allow you advisors to talk to each other. That's where we, the advisors who've been around for so long can share their insight and what works for their chapter to the ones who are just hungry for knowledge. I do see a question in the chat that I wanted to mention. They were asking about the Panda Express fundraiser and like the purpose of the receipts. Hopefully at your chapter you create an email address or use maybe your who knows, it could be your CSF president, it could be your advisor email that they'll send receipts for it. You'll have to, for this fundraiser for online, in order to get the 10% money to your local chapter, you must turn in these receipts to the CSF office. In the past, all online or all orders through Panda Express, the money goes to CSF statewide, but this time around, we're giving money back to the chapters. And the best way we know how to give money back to the chapters is for you to keep track of the number that the people are using for the online orders. You collect those receipts, you send them to us, we send you a check.
Richard?
Yes.
Okay. I will make a little video and put it on the website about ways to save and get and save receipts from supporters. When I ordered from Panda during online for the last fundraiser, I got a receipt online in my email. So your supporters, when they order online, they're going to get a receipt in their email.
Right.
They can just forward it to the fundraising captain email address, which you provide to them. And then you will have emails with you being the CSF fundraising captain, will have emails with all of those receipts, which you can, we'll talk about, convert to a format where you can upload and get credit.
Would that be like a spreadsheet kind of thing on Google or Excel?
I'll have a variety of ways to do it because everyone has just different access on their computers. So I'll work on that.
Yeah, Lori, that's exactly right. 300 kids, that's a lot of receipts. Yeah, so hopefully we'll find a way to make it easier. One of the things that advisors have been asking for in the past was a way for the local chapters to make some funds here, especially to pay for dues and so on. And this is the best way we've been able to come up with it. Panda Express has been so gracious this year in allowing us 28% of every order to our organization. And so we were definitely able to kick back at least 10% to the chapters. So, okay.
So Patricia, I had a question on the Panda. Some of the pandas are open across the country. Can you still go in and place an order and take it to go, or does it have to be placed online?
It must be placed online. All orders for this fundraiser must be placed online using the coupon code that we have already published on our website and will be in all further communications. You cannot walk into a Panda store and place an order and have it be credited to CSF or your chapter. So,
okay, thank you.
Online.
Do you see the question from Michelle Mullally that says, does CSF have a video introducing students to CSF and the possibility of what our chapter can do? Matt, isn't your students have been working something, I know you mentioned that was specific to your chapter, but this is a great idea. And maybe we can look at maybe having a chapter put something like that together for us.
I think that'd be a great idea. Really show some community service, really, to putting together a video like that. I know, yeah, my chapter put one together because we did a virtual club rush here this last week to introduce all the clubs on campus, and it was one of the featured videos. But it is very specific to our chapter, with the links to our Google Classroom and our Zoom links for meetings and such. So I don't want to share that one, I'm afraid. But I did talk to the group who made it, and they're working on a Panda Express video right now, and hopefully I can get that shared out here in the next week or so. They're just starting to work on it, though.
There is also another chapter the advisor communicated with me about a month ago that has several videos that they've made and we're remaking for this year. And I will find that in my email and ask her to share those videos with us too.
That would be wonderful. And keep in mind, advisors, that not all of us are necessarily active advisors and have access to students. So what you guys do with your students helps us amazingly to be able to share as well, because a lot of you are much more, not all of us, but some of us, like I say, don't see students on a daily basis necessarily. So, but that sounds great.
And I do want to piggyback on that too. We love hearing what your chapter is doing. Please spread that word out to the board. These great things, we can put some things on the websites too, because what you do with your students is amazing and gives great ideas to other chapters, other advisors, of things that they could do with their chapter to make theirs even better.
And they can put those on the home screen, that fall 2020 resources. You can actually upload your fundraising ideas as a comment to add to that list.
And if those lists, some of those things seem antiquated, what's already on those lists have been ideas that have been compiled over the last 5 or 6 years at Advisors Conference. So I know Richard and I have done breakouts with the CSF and just done like a community service group. And we kind of keep notes of all the things that people say, and we've been adding to those documents over time. So if it seems like some of them seem a little obscure, don't necessarily make sense, they did at the time. Feel free to edit those as necessary. So, and it's a living document. So we were hoping that everybody will just share with one another.
Yeah, Starlet's a great question. She's asking about how to run a meeting. Most chapters do create officers, and you should have a president and at least a secretary. Treasurer, sometimes in schools, the treasury can be handled by the school itself, but the basic offices are president, vice president, secretary, and treasurer. Those should be elected positions. You can always volunteer a student to help you to start this whole thing. And then it's all about getting the word out to students. You have to have a purpose for having a meeting. If you're going to have a meeting to create like a service opportunity, then you post flyers, hit remind, Instagram, Facebook, whatever your school allows, whatever your students, whatever platform your students are on, to get the word out. Usually we hold meetings at lunchtime. Some chapters have them after school. Right now it's going to be virtual, so it might even be an easier way for students to meet together virtually, although they probably are sick of Zoom or Google Meets. And there's all kinds of information on our website of how to hold a meeting and what kind of things to offer and so on. And any one of us can definitely help you. Absolutely, Tammy, please.
So regarding having a board within your local chapter, I think it's a great way to give students leadership opportunities. I think that's one of the things I love about CSF is they really get involved and they come up with great ideas that I would never think of. In my chapter, I had 8 board members, 1 president, 1 secretary, and 7 VPs, and each vice president on our chapter board was responsible for a certain task. So perhaps communication or fundraising or drives where all the service things that your club does. So it gives everybody. And then each board member, they would run the meeting. I would just be there, but they would run the meeting and they would all present based on what the information is for that month. So just some ideas for why it is really great to have the students involved.
Yeah, maybe the first thing you want to do is find a student that you think can be at the helm, because that's your number one concern, is getting the students excited about doing this. So you can be excited, but once your students get excited, then things start to flow. Our most successful chapters, what they've been able to create is having a student board that gets things rolling, and then it's continuity, keeping those things going. I do not remember which school this was, but a few years ago, a school was having an annual blood drive. And they had a VP whose sole job was to work this blood drive every year. And they would always have a new recruit, like a person who's going to assume that role the next year, and they would shadow that student so that they would watch how all the steps happen. So that when the next year, when the new officer takes over, they step into the role and run the blood drive the same way. Our chapters who have continuity like that, I think, are the most successful in the state at doing things recurring every year.
Richard, I think that's such a great point. And also, what we would do at the end of the year is when the new board is selected for the following year, we would get together, and then each person in that role who had it the prior year, kind of like a bonding thing, and then they would help them transition. And they become like an oiled machine over years. I mean, you're there to supervise and make sure everything is getting taken care of properly. But, you know, they really are doing a lot of the work.
Yeah, that's a great point. Usually the chapters that seem to be doing the best, the advisors are not doing the majority of the work. That sounds terrible, but you find it working when the students are themselves are the ones doing it. The advisor oftentimes they say, oh yeah, I'm just signing my name to this or signing my name to that. And the students come to me and say, hey, we want to do this fundraiser, we want to do this. And the advisor's like, yeah, go for it. So when that happens, when you start creating that kind of 5 chapters, you are in a great position. And many of our most successful chapters have done that, where the students are the ones leading and kind of pushing what happens.
Just to jump in on that here too, for my chapter this year, well, for all my years here, the students run the meetings. I don't run the meeting. I sit there, I'll run the PowerPoint if they're running a PowerPoint for the day, but I sit in the background, and then when they're done with their stuff, they turn to me and say, anything else to comment? I do meet with them as an executive board to talk with the officers and such. And then somebody also commented, can you have multiple officers? I actually have 3 presidents this year. We did a online voting system because we had to do our elections virtually. They made nomination videos, and then we did a vote, and it came out as a 3-way tie. It was amazing. And so I chatted with them, and they said, yeah, we'll all go together. That's fine. We all know each other, and it's working beautifully. And then again, so we have the presidents, a VP, a treasurer, secretary, and then we have directors, for lack of anything else, for community service, and then key people to run the Panda fundraiser or other items that we just go along. And so everybody can participate. Anybody who wants to be an officer can find a job for them to do, but the students run the meetings. I just sit there and click next on the PowerPoint.
Matt, I agree. And I also had an executive board meeting before every student meeting so that I kind of knew what they were going to present. The other thing is I would let the current seniors help select. We would have them interview for the board for the following year. So they would fill out an application, then we would interview them all. And then I let the seniors select who they think would be a good fit for each of the positions. I also found that if you give a title to whatever position they are on the board, it really helps to have them focus on what they need to do, and they really work well together.
I always, when we're leading these advisor conferences and the breakout sessions for CSF, I'm always a little bit embarrassed because I teach at Sonora High School, which is in the Sierra foothills. We have about 800 students. And for whatever reason, I've tried over the various years to really get a dynamic chapter. I know how to do it as an advisor, being I'm on the board. But I just never have found that core group of students that just want to take it and run. I'm always the one trying to remind them and so on. So I'm always a little embarrassed. And I'm I keep waiting for that student to come walking in who will be like, I will solve all of your CSF issues on campus. I'm still looking for that student. I haven't found them yet. I'm always looking at the new students coming in. Can I use that one? Can I use that one? And so on. So we did have a very successful Adopt a Family fundraiser last year. We helped out 37 local families and their children with gifts. And it was our best service thing we've done in many years. And so the kids got so much out of that when they stuffed this van full of all the bags of presents going to the local fundraising chapter. It was awesome. So I think once that kind of stuff happens at your local levels, it starts to roll. And I'm hoping many of those kids will come back this year and really be dynamic. Hasn't been dynamic so far, but I'm hoping that good things will happen. Panda Express is November 5th, right? Yes, November 5th. There's always a Panda Express twice a year. In the past 3 years, I believe, we've done one in May and one in November. I don't know the status of the one in May. Panda Express, they have been so gracious to help us as an organization, normally all throughout the state, this time across the country. So I know that if we help them out and increase the sales, then they're going to be more willing to want to continue working with us in the future. So it always depends on the fundraiser each time we do it, if we're giving them a return on the investment for us.
Richard, can I suggest that when we get back with the whole group at the end, you clarify some things on Panda Express, particularly, I didn't realize that you couldn't go into the store.
Okay.
That was a good question. It's probably she got that from me, but if you could just reiterate that when we're in the whole group, please.
Just that one fact that it's only online, and I knew that.
Any other questions with Panda, because that's the big thing coming up. So somebody expressed the fact that they have 300 members in their chapter, and it's a lot of receipts. And yes, it is. This is the only way we could figure it out to get it back, to the chapter. So, we might just go over that one more time.
Yeah, maybe Patricia can jump in, because if she has in her mind because I'm thinking, wow, 300 members, that's a lot of receipts. Because if they tell 2 friends, that's now 900 receipts coming in. So how do we handle that? So if Patricia can kind of go over the daunting task that it's simply, if it makes into some kind of a sheet where they can just hit a button, it prints out, and they can just take that and forward to the CSF office, that would be great.
Okay, you might want to remind her, I think she's off right now.
Oh, she's right there.
That's
I see her.
why I went ahead and ordered online to see if it was going to be a pain in the neck, but it wasn't. It was really easy to do it. So, and I didn't have to give them any information. I mean, my email, but I didn't have to create an account or anything. So it wasn't difficult, because I wanted to make sure it wasn't going to be.
Hi, this is Eric. Let me jump in. This is not a daunting task.
No.
It's, in fact, I wouldn't even mention that to our advisors and students. All they have to do is collect their receipts and send them to us. It may be a daunting task once we get it, but 300 receipts, I enter that type of information into Excel spreadsheets all day long.
Okay.
And to me, it's the simplest fundraiser to tell them how to operate. All you have to do, go use off of our website, go to Panda Express, the link, so that the code number tells Panda your CSF, CJSF. And if you give that to a neighbor or a friend, have them do the same thing, order online, save your receipt. And if I'm the student, send it back to me. And as a student, I will then send it to my advisor, or maybe within your chapter, that's what we have to explain, is you need a central place to post your receipts. And then the advisor, or whomever the advisor tells, is going to send all of that information to Lisa. And then the real issue is us. But, I would hope we're going to have 3,000 to 4,000 receipts. That would be the wonderful outcome of this. And we can, we'll handle it because that'll be a great day if that takes place. Okay. That's my thought.
When you order online, you do put in your email address and they email you a receipt. And I just forwarded that email to Patricia to see if that would work. So,
Wow. Yeah.
you know, I didn't have to scan anything. I just forwarded the email to the address.
So, excuse me, but just so we're clear on this, yes, it is easy to forward the email, and that's absolutely the best way of doing it, but not to me, not to Lisa.
No, I did it to you because I was just playing with it.
So I know that, but each chapter has a fundraising captain with an email address that will be used for collecting the receipts. So each chapter, when they go and ask people to support them, they will ask them to forward their Panda order receipt to that fundraising captain, who will be responsible for each chapter, will be responsible for gathering their own receipts and then sending them to us. I'm still not exactly sure that part of it will work out, but we will make it work. And because everyone's computer abilities and all of that are different, we'll work with each individual chapter and make it work as best we can.
And there was a question, can you confirm the date the receipts are due? Sorry.
Let me go look that up.
That's a
The
good
advisor
point.
doesn't
There should
necessarily
be a
have to
due
be the
date.
captain.
What's that, Renee?
The advisor doesn't necessarily have to be the captain.
Right, it can be a student.
Right.
It can be a parent, but it can be an advisor too. November 19th, the receipts are all due by November 19th so that we can wrap this up and not be dealing with it for the rest of the year because awards season will be starting. So yeah, November 19th. And since we're doing all of this online, it should be easier to gather your receipts and transmit them to us digitally. You don't have to find a stamp or wait for the mail or anything like that.
And there's comments over there about using Canvas and Google Form to do this, which I know nothing about, but somebody does. So we could take advantage of that.
Yes, the chapter could easily make a Google form to do submissions for themselves on. You can attach photos or things with that too. So that might be a way for an individual chapter to do it and put everything into a spreadsheet. Canvas, again, whatever system you are using for your chapter, that's the one you want to go to.
Patricia, can you please go over all this again and the closing when we're all back together? Because we have at least 20, 25 people that are not in on us right now. So
Okay, yes, I will do that.
Thank you.
There is a second form for Panda. There's the registration form, but then there's another form for uploading receipts. And it's based on what I hear today, I'll make adjustments to some of these things. And definitely VPs, tell me what you think. And I'll just make it work better.
But one last comment, we need one voice to reiterate how simple this is to our advisors so they have a simple message to the student. Here is how you go to get the link to order your Panda online anywhere in the United States. Whomever is ordering for you, your contact as a student for your chapter, they send you the receipt. You send your receipt to your chapter, and your chapter then will put all of your chapter's receipts and send them to Lisa Bowen at the CSF office. If any of this doesn't make sense or you get lost, contact Lisa Bowen or go on our website to look up additional.
Eric, I think that's not accurate.
Okay, good.
Go ahead.
Clarify.
Okay, there will be a form online for uploading your receipts. Do not send receipts to Lisa. Do not send them to me. It is ridiculous to track that in my inbox.
Okay, great. So they have to use the form. Great. Okay.
Right. Right. And
So then,
every
Patricia,
time
can
we
you
get
be the
partic-
one that, can you be the one that clarifies this? Because you know best
Yes.
is that okay?
Yeah, sure, I'll do that.
And
Okay,
there is
on-
a specific email address for all of that stuff. So that's what, yeah, they don't want to be sent to Lisa or Patricia. So she has created an email address just for the Panda.
Right.
Okay, on that note, I'm gonna need to, I know it's 10:15 and you guys all have to take a break. Everybody has to get up and stretch and go to the bathroom. So I'm gonna close it up so that advisors don't think they're missing out on anything, and we'll meet you back at 10:30 in your breakout sessions.
Okay.
Okay, and we'll be back at the end for Q&A if there's anything else. So
Okay.
go to the bathroom and stand up and stretch, everybody.
Okay. Okay, yes, ma'am.
See you at the breakouts.
Okay.